Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys can hear me. Please confirm in the chat box if the audio is clear. Good morning. Good morning. I hope all of you are doing good. Before we start with the analysis part, please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching for the first time. A very warm welcome to you. Please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you're not following me over Twitter, this is my Twitter handle, Sherlock Vale. You can follow my Twitter account, and if you would like to have a little bit more organized feed, then you can simply just join the Discord server. There are a lot many exciting things happening in the Discord server, so I would really recommend joining the Discord server because we recently started with 1k to 10k, 1k to 5k challenge. Just yesterday we posted our first trade for 1k to 5k challenge, and you can see that I promised you guys that we would regularly be uploading the updates on the channel. So as you can see that yesterday it was a 5% gain, aiming for 10% gain every single day. But yeah, let's see what happens. But anyways, you can join in the Discord server. You can open up a support ticket, and support staff, they would be helping you in joining the challenge. All right, so it is once again an exciting opportunity for all of you, especially for people who have a small account and who would like to grow their account. It's once again a very good opportunity. So yeah, I would recommend that you join the Discord server and join the channel, join the challenge. All right, okay. So let's start with the Bitcoin update. I know that a lot many people, they're actually wanting me to talk about it because uh, ever since price went to $65,000 region, everybody was expecting 70k, everybody was expecting 68k. I remember I for some reason I'm not able to find the exact tweet, but people with 500k, 400k followers on Twitter, they were literally saying almost 3 to 4 days ago that 62k, it's not happening, we are going straight to 70k, we're going straight up to 72k. But instead of just chasing the price, I have always said this thing, instead of just chasing the price, it's always a very good idea to just wait for price to come back to you, wait for price to retrace down to the correct levels, and only then you should be entering into the positions. Instead of just going after the price, you should wait for price to come back to you. This is first thing. And since this is happening live in front of us, price is going down, I would like to mention this thing. Okay, let's start with the trend line that I have drawn. Okay, I recently posted just yesterday, I recently posted this detailed Bitcoin analysis in which I clearly mentioned that uh, the major support, the first major support region, which has not been tested as of now, the first retest, it's about to happen. It's somewhere around $61,800 region. So ideally speaking, in pure ideal terms, you should be buying around in this area. Okay, this is for those people who do not care about multi-time frame analysis, who are not looking at any sort of top-down approach. They would simply just wait for price to retrace down to a support region which has not been retested before. This is the first retest, and they would simply just buy blindly. Okay, for me, there are quite a few important things that I would like to take into account. The first one, okay, if you would play by the book, then you should ideally be buying around $61,800 region. This is a good opportunity for you to take a position. But the reason I'm not willing to do so, as of now, I have absolutely no idea, what exactly is going to happen. Price is, just dropping down to $61,800 region. I have absolutely no idea what could be happening around here. But the reason I'm not willing to buy this region, okay, is because of this trend line. If you would read my detailed Bitcoin analysis, I mentioned this thing when price was trading somewhere around $64,000 region. And by the way, as soon as this high was formed, I did update you guys over my Twitter account and in the Discord server also that there are two equal highs, two very beautiful equal highs present at $65,000 region. So you should definitely not be entering into any positions because we are simple people. We would see equal highs, we would take a short trade. We would see equal lows, we would take a long trade. So in this situation, this was a very good short trigger. But the reason I'm not willing to take any short position, especially on Bitcoin, is because the overall trend, okay, if you would look at the overall trend, if you would look at the higher time frame trend, it's definitely bullish. And this move downside, it's simply just retracement. We would be talking about all of this in terms of structure also, but first of all, let's talk about this trend line. This is going to be very interesting live stream because if the impulsive break downside happens, then we would have a very good opportunity to buy around like 60,800 and then around 59,600, which I would love to see happening. Okay. Now the reason I said that I'm not willing to buy around this region, okay, I would be keeping an eye on the smaller time frame structure, on the lower time frame, on the 5 minute time frame structure. I would be keeping an eye on that. I would wait for the structure shift. I would wait for the change of character on the 5 minute time frame chart. If that happens, I might be buying around in this area. But the reason I'm not doing so is because of this live is because of this trend line. Now, if you have been watching some of my previous live streams, if you have watched literally any of my previous live streams, I always talk about the trend lines, right? And I always suggest you guys to never ever trade the bounces of the trend line and never ever trade the rejections of the trend lines. The reason for this is because whenever price is bouncing off a trend line, a lot many beginner traders, a lot many immatures, they would simply just be looking at this price action and they would be thinking that maybe since price just bounced off this trend line 2, 3, 4, 5 times already, the sixth or the seventh time it's also going to happen in a very same manner, and that's why they would be taking their long positions at the bounce of the trend line. Okay, and then all of these people, they would eventually be placing the stops below this low. Like anybody who took his long position somewhere around here, he has choice to place his stop loss below this low or below this low or below this low, which means that there are a significant number of sell stops placed in this area. And market, we know that uh, the title for this live stream also is bulls or bears, how to understand market maker sentiment. I have mentioned this during some of my previous live streams also, that even if the overall structure is bullish, even if the market makers or institutions, they are bullish on a particular financial instrument, they have much bigger capital to handle, and bigger the capital, bigger the responsibility also. So if you are someone who's managing billions of dollars and you would also like to invest those billions of dollars into Bitcoin, you cannot simply just buy or sell at any arbitrary point. That's the only restriction, because once again, bigger the capital, bigger the responsibility also. So if nobody is selling, it's all about liquidity, right? It's all about how liquid the order books are. And when you have such bigger amount of capital present, the order books, they need to be liquid enough. So if you are willing to buy, let's suppose $1 billion worth of something, of a particular financial asset, which is not that popular, talking about Bitcoin, although it's popular, but not that popular in comparison to the rest of the markets, like the forex market or the stock market, you obviously have a restriction that you cannot just buy or sell at any arbitrary point. You would wait for price to retrace down to a certain region, and that's where you would be placing your orders, right? So in the simplest possible terms, you could say that if nobody is selling from the opposite side, how exactly would you be buying? So in this situation also, if nobody is selling from the opposite side, all the people, they are bullish on Bitcoin, then how exactly would you be buying? Who exactly would you be buying from? Okay, so in this situation also, the reason why I'm not willing to buy around this region, or why I was not willing to buy around 63,000 to 63,500. First of all, we had these two equal highs present, and the simple man theory, you would see equal highs, you would never ever be taking a long trade. And then we have this trend line information. All those people who are taking their long positions, they have stops placed below this low. And my theory almost 2 days ago, when price was trading somewhere around in this region, was that price would eventually retrace down, break below this trend line impulsively. And since the trend line break is happening, okay, I'm expecting this trend line break to be a very impulsive one, and then price would eventually retrace down to somewhere around in this spot. Why exactly this spot? Because if you would look at a few important indicators, like we are looking at the 4 hour time frame chart, and you can clearly see that we have on the 4 hour time frame chart, we have quarterly and yearly VWAP present around $60,800 region, which makes me think that if the price starts breaking below, the price could be retracing down around in this area. Okay, the price drop would be happening somewhere around in this spot. Okay, this spot also is perfectly aligned with all the stops that might be placed below these lows. Okay, so once again, it's a very simple thing to understand. All those people who were taking their long position, they would have the stops placed below these lows, they would have the liquidation prices below these lows, all these high leverage long positions, and market at some point has to liquidate all these high leverage long positions. On the opposite side, market has to trigger all these sell stops in order to just continue in its original direction. So if there is enough selling pressure coming from the opposite side, only then these institutions and these market makers, they would be able to buy. Once again, it's as simple as that. The second thing is that even if you are buying somewhere around here, okay, it's completely your choice. Which swing point would you like to select? Now, the reason why I'm talking about swing points is because if you would go and watch some of my previous live streams, I always start by talking about structure. Like, I did mention this thing during my last live stream also, when price was trading under in this region. I mentioned that the structure during the past 7 to 8 months, the structure for the past 7 to 8 months on the Bitcoin chart has been absolutely bookish, which means that if a change of character happens, which means that if a market structure shift happen, it is absolutely followed by a break of structure later on. So in this case also, I was telling people who were expecting 43,000, 44,000, 45,000, it could be happening, but after a break of structure, I was mentioning that a change of character has happened. It's only a matter of time that price would break above this region, above 62,800. Similar is the situation also if you are asking me about my higher time frame point of view. Higher time frame analysis, market definitely is bullish. The 4 hour structure, it's definitely bullish. We had this first change of character. Nobody was telling you about the change of character. I told you about the spot trade at $54,000 when the 5 minute structure change happened. I told you about this swing long position at $56,000 region when this change of character happened on the 4 hour time frame chart. And now the break of structure has happened as the price broke above this area. So let me just quickly mark this as a break of structure. So if you are asking about the higher time frame narrative, higher time frame analysis, then the market structure on the 4 hour time frame chart, it's definitely bullish. We had the change of character, now we just had the break of structure. And we know this thing that whenever market is moving, you need to understand all those people who are scared about these retracements. I know, you guys have not been watching these markets for, quite some time. You are maybe new to the market and you do not have a good understanding of how exactly these market works. There are no charts. I'm not talking about shitcoin. There are no charts that go straight up. There are no charts that go straight down, right? Market always is moving in terms of waves. You have an impulsive wave, corrective wave, impulsive wave, corrective wave. Like, it works something like this. You have an impulsive wave, corrective wave, impulsive wave, corrective wave, impulsive wave, and corrective wave. Impulsive wave because the buyers, they are in complete control. But some people at some point in time when price reaches this area, people would be thinking, some of these people would be thinking that, okay, maybe I should be taking my profits. And that's why you have the retracement happening. Once again, the buyers would be in complete control, price would go up. Then as soon as price would reach a certain resistance area, some of these buyers, they would be thinking that maybe they should be taking profits. Okay, for example, I had a long position on Bitcoin open from $57,000 region. I took significant profits around $64,000 area. I did not wait for 65,000. This was the resistance area. I simply just took profit around in this region. So it's very common for retracements to happen, and that's why we have this very beautiful tool called Fibonacci retracement, right? So in any case, all you have to do is just simply identify the swing point. In this case, this is your swing point. This is a major swing low. You would draw Fibonacci retracement from the start of the impulsive wave to the end of the impulsive wave. And let me make it a little bit more simple. Okay, so you can clearly see that the price retracement happened down to 65%, 70.5% fib level, right? So in this situation also, you have market moving in absolute, in terms of waves. Okay, which means that you can absolutely draw Fibonacci retracement level. The only difficulty that you might face is that if you should be selecting this swing point or this swing point or this swing point. Okay, if you would go to the daily time frame chart, the choice is going to be very simple. It's only going to be this or this swing point. Okay, even if we would consider this swing point, this swing low, and we would draw Fibonacci retracement levels, then there is every possibility that price could be retracing down to $59,200 region. But let's suppose we say that, okay, I'm not considering the daily chart, I'm just going to consider these swing points, some other swing points. So in this situation, if you consider this swing point, then the Fibonacci retracement level, 65% level, it's somewhere around 60,400, which is a good region of confluence in my opinion, because if you would turn on the quarterly and the yearly VWAP on the 4-hour time frame chart, they are perfectly sitting around in this zone, which means that there is every possibility that price would be breaking below this zone briefly. Although this is a very strong support, if I just turn off all the indicators, you can clearly see that the price rejection happened, the first rejection, the second rejection, third rejection, fourth rejection, and now it took quite some time for price to break above this resistance area, and now it is finding support somewhere around here. Another important thing that you need to notice, for some reason my alerts are not working on TradingView. I don't know. I just opened up a support ticket with TradingView also, but they said that, maybe it's an error with my internet connection. Nothing is wrong with my internet connection, everything is working fine. Maybe if you guys have any solution to this, please let me know, because I have been facing the same issue since last night. It says that your alerts log won't load due to a connection issue, please refresh the page. I have tried refreshing the page like 1,000 times already, but it's not working. But anyways, let's take a look at the USDT dominance chart also. A very clear example in this case also. By the way, the indicators that I just showed you, MTF 200 EMA, the first one, my favorite one, and the second one also, MP VWAP, multi-period VWAP, quarterly and the yearly VWAP in this case we talked about. So, the USDT dominance, if you guys remember, my previous live stream, I did mention that it's not going to be an easy thing for price to break below this horizontal support area, because not only this is a region where we have 200 period MTF 200 EMA present, but we also have the yearly VWAP present around in this area. So you can clearly see that we had 4-hour VWAP present around here, and on the daily time frame chart you can clearly see that the price bounce happened from this yearly VWAP. Okay, so it was never really going to be an easy thing for price to break below this region, and it's perfectly understandable, it's perfectly acceptable that price bounced from this area. But the second important thing that we need to pay attention towards is that price broke below this trend line. That's why I'm always encouraging you to never ever try to trade the bounces of the trend lines. So the first bounce, second bounce, the third bounce, at the time the third bounce happened, you could have clearly seen that it was a very weak bounce, giving you an indication that USDT dominance is going to break below this trend line, which obviously meant that price on the Bitcoin chart is gonna go up. That's exactly what happened. We went from $60,000 region all the way up to $65,000 region. But price, I mentioned this thing during the previous live stream also, that if you wish to become a good trader, then you should be a good storyteller also. You should be able to narrate, and you should be able to make yourself understand the proper context of everything. Okay, so in this case, price was trading above this trend line. Okay, price broke below this trend line. Why exactly? Because the retracements, they were getting smaller, the bounces, they were getting weaker, which obviously meant that price is going to break below this trend line. Since this chart, it's negatively or inversely correlated with the Bitcoin chart, it definitely meant that price would eventually go up on the Bitcoin chart, which is exactly happened. Price went up to $65,000 region. Then eventually we had the first complete retracement happening at this horizontal support area. Okay, not only this was price reaching this horizontal strong support region, but also on the daily time frame chart, by the way, and on the weekly time frame chart also, this was a strong support. But also, if you would look at 4-hour yearly VWAP and daily yearly VWAP and 200 period MTF EMA, you would notice that all of them were present around in the very same area. And I do remember mentioning this in some of my previous live streams also, that you would hardly encounter a situation in which MTF EMA and quarterly or yearly VWAP, they are crossing each other. And whenever the situation like this happens, it's always that price would react to those levels, because you would have two very strong confluences perfectly aligned with each other. So in this case, you had not only two confluences, but you actually had three confluences, right? So it was quite evident that price would eventually bounce back from this area. This is what exactly happened. But the point to notice around here is that we if you would play by the book, then price should break below the trend lines, then they should consolidate a little bit, and then it should come back to retest at the trend line, and this should be a bearish retest, meaning that price should be rejecting off in this area. And let's see what happens. I would be keeping an eye on the 5 minute structure. Okay, USDT dominance as of now is at this resistance area. This is not only a resistance area in terms of trend line or in terms of 4 hour resistance, but also if you would look at quarterly VWAP on the 4 hour time frame chart, it's present right at this trend line, which means that there is every possibility that Bitcoin could be bouncing from 62,000. We would be keeping an eye once again on the 5 minute structure, okay, because 5 minute structure, it has been bearish ever since price broke below this area, ever since price broke below $64,000 region. So we would get a very good signal, an early signal, if the price bounce has to happen. But the only reason why I'm a little bit afraid of going long around here is only because of this trend line, because I know that the trend line breaks, they do happen, they usually, almost in 99.9% of the cases, prices would break below the trend line, and whenever these breaks happens, they are very impulsive ones. So even if price tends to bounce a little bit around here, I would still be playing slightly cautious, because in my opinion price should be breaking below this trend line. If you would consider this highest possible swing low, then in that case you would draw fib levels, and you would notice that even in this situation price could be retracing down to $61,500 region. So once again, it's a very mixed signal in my opinion. Anything could be happening, but we should be keeping an eye on the smaller time frame structure, on the 5 minute time frame structure, right? Now, coming back to some of the altcoin positions we had, we have a long position on NMR. The reason for this is because price is retesting this strong horizontal support, and then on the higher time frame chart, we have quarterly and yearly VWAP present around in this entry zone, and on the daily time frame chart, we have quarterly VWAP present around here. And NMR overall looks like a good chart, and that's why I was willing to take a long position on it. And also, I just wanted to hedge sort of my short positions also, because I have a short position open on TLM. Okay, I have a short position open on OGN. Okay, a similar sort of trend line is also in formation on OGN. Okay, we have not taken profits or done anything with this short position. Price is still bouncing off this trend line, but I'm expecting that eventually price would also break below this trend line on OGN chart. Similar was the reasoning for taking the short position on TLM also. Price was trading above this trend line, and I was expecting that okay, eventually price would break below this trend line, and then we would have a break below. And it was only a 6% move as of now, but once again we have two equal lows present around here on the TLM chart. It could bounce a little bit, but I'm expecting overall that it would break down below. Then we had a short position open on AI. Okay, this was sort of an interesting one, because when I shared the short position on AI, price was trading exactly at this entry zone. But by the time I shared the short position, price had moved almost like 0.5%, 0.6% away from entry. And then people were not able to enter into this short position. Even I was not able to enter into the short position, because I was simply just sharing the limits in the Discord server. And then eventually price went down almost 11%, 10%, and we completely missed this short position. Even last night when price went back up a little bit, we missed this entry once again by like 1% or 1.5%. We opened up another short position on this on this altcoin MOVR. We are waiting for the limits, so you would find the limits over my Twitter account also. But if you would like to receive a more detailed analysis, you can simply just join the Discord server once again. We opened another short position on Injective, and then we have finally another short position on DeFi. Okay, this was a market short position. Price went down almost like 2%, 3%, but I'm not really going to do anything with this also. I would simply just wait for price to give a decisive move. The reason why we are not seeing anything much happening with the Bitcoin with the altcoins is mainly because USDT dominance, it's going down, right? You have a bearish or down close candle forming on Bitcoin dominance. So with Bitcoin dominance going up, and the price of Bitcoin going down, this would have definitely meant that the altcoins, they would go down, but nothing of this sort is happening as of now. So if you are into long positions on altcoins, it's a good thing. You can just keep those long positions, because the Bitcoin dominance, it's going down as of now. But the current situation that we have, I'm still expecting the price on the Bitcoin chart would eventually break below this trend line, and then we would have this much awaited move down to 59,600 or at least $60,000 region, right? Even 60,500 would be a good enough thing. So let's wait. Let's see what happens. It's still too early to say anything, but we would be keeping an eye on the 5 minute structure, right? Another important thing that you need to understand is that we have the major swing high, the major swing highs and major swing lows. By the way, they have shifted. You have the major swing low present around here, and then you have the major swing high present around here. Okay, which means that this high right here, which means that if price needs to continue with this bullish momentum, which in my opinion it would, okay, price, it's only a matter of time. This is only a retracement, and retracements are very common. This is only a a retracement wave or a corrective wave or a pullback wave, whatever you would like to call it, right? There are different names for this, but this is perfectly fine. Okay, people would be taking profits off their long positions. Price would go down, eventually new long positions, they would start building up. All these people who have their late long positions, they would get wiped out of the market, and then price would eventually break back above this high right here. Because the good thing is that we have two equal highs sitting around here. Normally whenever you would see equal highs on the chart, you would be taking a short position, but they are also the regions, same as trend lines, they are also the regions where people would have too many stops placed above above this area, which means that all those people who took their short position, they would have their buy stops placed around in this area, and price would eventually go back up, take out all of these buy stops, and then it would continue going up to $68,000 region or $67,500 region. If you don't know why exactly we are interested in $67,500 region, you can go and watch one of my previous live stream, almost like we did 2 weeks ago, maybe a week or two ago, in which I mentioned that $67,500, $68,000 region, based on smaller time frame structure shift, I would be taking a short position at this area, and I would love to see price at $43,000 region. I don't know exactly if it would be happening, but based on the historical data, like if you would look at this channel right here on the Bitcoin chart, you would notice that we are moving in this channel, bullish flag pattern, whatever you would like to call it. We have almost like 4 to 5 instances in which eventually price has to break above or below this channel. I'm not saying that it would continue to move forever in this channel. It could be a break above or it could be a break below. But if you guys remember, we took a spot position on Bitcoin at $54,000 region. It was a risky long position, and that time only 5 minute structure shift had happened, and there was no confirmation of the higher time frame, like the 4 hour structure or anything had not happened at that time. But the thing that I mentioned to you during that trade also was that this is going to be a good trade because this has a higher risk to reward ratio. Sometimes you have to pay attention to the risk to reward ratio part also. So I'm not saying that there is no possibility that price would break above $68,000 region. There is every possibility that it could be happening this time. But if you would take a short position at the high of this channel, placing a stop, let's suppose even above the last even above the last all-time high, and you would simply just target this region, this would have 2.68 risk to reward ratio. And if you are targeting $43,000 region, you would have 4 risk to reward ratio. So sometimes it's not just about the bias thing, sometimes it's about being able to catch the move also. Okay, so I would definitely be taking this short position because I'm literally done waiting for price to break above the all-time high. So I'm not definitely not going to miss this opportunity. Also, if you would look at all the previous fractals, and if you would try to draw fib levels, you would notice that in all previous cases the price rejection happened somewhere around 0.886 levels. Okay, you just take into account all of these fractals, and you would notice that every price rejection, it was either at 0.886 levels or a little bit above that area, which means that this rejection, it could also be happening around 0.886 level, which is perfectly aligned with the top of this channel, and which is perfectly aligned. And by the way, if you have any doubt if this channel is working or not, you can clearly see that during the last 2 weeks or so, price was stalled a little bit, and this was happening at the middle boundary of this channel. And if you wish to play slightly more cautious, what you can do is that you would simply just wait for price to give a retracement down to this middle boundary of the channel. It was a strong resistance, finally price broke above, and now it should be giving a retracement down to the middle boundary of this channel, that's where you can take a long position. That's where you can start building a long position, and you can target once again the high of this channel. You wouldn't really have the best possible risk to reward ratio, because it doesn't matter if you take a long position at 65,000 or 60,000 or 59,000 or 61,000. The only choice for stop loss is going to be below this low at 56,000, because just like I mentioned, this is a major swing low, and $65,000 region, this is your major swing high. If price has to continue with its bullish momentum, it needs to break and close a 4-hour candle above $65,000 region, and if needs to completely reverse its direction, it needs to break and close a 4-hour candle below $56,000 region. That's the whole story. And you need not to be paying attention to any other thing. But I was talking about this channel right here. You have the choice to go long at the middle boundary of the channel, and then you would have the choice to take a short position and exit your long positions at the top boundary of this channel, because historically speaking, this fractal, it has played out really well. Okay, and if the move happens, if after rejection from $68,000 region, we go down to maybe 60,000, 61,000, then I'm telling you that $43,000 region, it's definitely on the cards, and 43,000 is happening next. Okay, and if it happens, just bet your house, just bet everything that you have, bet your house, bet your children, bet everything, but do not miss out the opportunity to buy at $43,000 region, because this could be an opportunity to print generational wealth, in my opinion. Okay, let's take a few questions. Does DeFi perpetual only exist in Binance? I cannot see this coin Mexi and Bybit. I'm not really sure. I was looking at the Binance watch list. So let's quickly take a look. DeFi USDT.p. Yes, it only exists in Binance. Yep. Not on Bluffin, not on Bybit, not on BingX, not on any other exchange except for Binance. So what will be the BTC maximum high in this bull run according to you? Love your videos. Thank you so much, Imran. And if you are wondering about the all-time high thing, I did publish a video. I would share the link with you guys. You can simply just DM me. I would share the link with you, but you would find it over my YouTube channel. We did a complete video analyzing where exactly the high for this high for this cycle could be. And in my opinion, in the worst case scenario, it's going to be, and mind you, in that video I did not talk about the next all-time highs, or all of these things without proper backing by any logic, or without any backing by any analysis or same sort of thing. I did proper analysis using Fibonacci extension tools, using Fibonacci retracement tools, and based upon that, I made the forecast that in the worst case scenario, this cycle top, it could be happening around $80,000 to $85,000 region, and the best possible scenario around $120,000 region. That's my opinion about the all-time high. Are you buying alt here though? No, I'm not. Just like 2 days back, we were opening short position, and somebody in a Discord server was complaining that why are we opening short position when price is going up. I told them that you need not to worry, you wouldn't really be regretting it. So we did not regret opening short positions, because once again, if you would look over my Twitter account also, I recently posted this tweet as well, that please stop looking on the smaller time frame charts and try to catch long moves on altcoins. All you have to do is, let me find that somewhere around here. 1 second. Okay, so in this analysis also, you can clearly see that I mentioned, finally, do not go longing altcoins blindly. Do not fall for the trap. Open up and mind you, this was when price was trading at $65,000 region, right at the top. I mentioned that please open up the higher time frame charts, and you would realize what I mean. Okay, so once again, and at that time I mentioned that I would be trying to build a long position at Bitcoin at 62K and a short at 67.5K with lower time frame confirmation. Once again, if you are looking on the smaller time frame charts on the altcoins, and you are thinking that maybe your favorite altcoin is gonna go 30%, 40%, 50% up, then all you have to do is just open up the daily time frame chart or the weekly time frame chart, and you would exactly notice what I'm trying to say. On the weekly time frame chart, I have been saying this since past 1 month or so. that weekly time frame and the daily time frame charts of altcoins, they look absolutely horrible. And if you are waiting for any altcoin rally, it's not going to happen until and unless Bitcoin dominance, which has been holding this trend line for almost ages, like, for almost 1 year or so. Only if it breaks below this trend line, it's going to be a massive break. Once it happens, you can clearly see on the weekly time frame chart, it's a very strong held trend line. So once the break below this trend line happens and Bitcoin stays positive, Bitcoin stays green, that's when you would have the much awaited altcoin rally. There have been talks that what if this altcoin really does not happen in this cycle? This could be a thing. Okay, I'm not gonna debate on that, because this is something we cannot predict. This is something that we cannot forecast. I'm not even sure, in my personal opinion, if any altcoin rally is going to happen or not. You look at the majority of these altcoins, they're even down below their bear market lows, which tells you that how pathetic the situation is. Okay, they are almost 90%, 95% down from their all-time highs. So if you're looking at smaller bounces, 20%, 30% up, it's not really going to make any difference. So yeah, once again, I would not be, you see, investing into altcoins, once again, is like going to casino and saying that I would like to make an investment. You don't go to casino and make an investment there, right? You trade altcoins. You need not to invest into altcoins until unless it's a very high conviction project, which is not really common thing in my opinion. So if you have been invested into altcoins, every now and then I get DMs from people asking me that what should they be doing with their altcoin bags, which are literally underwater as of now. And I'm telling them, who exactly told you to buy, who exactly told you to hold these bags for long term? Because altcoins, they're never really a good investment in my opinion, until and unless you are early into a project, you are able to catch a project before 20x, 30x, 40x. But if a project already has been listed over, like, tier 1 exchanges, major exchanges, there is no reason to invest into it until and unless you are simply just gambling. Gambling is a very strong word, but in any case, it's investing into altcoins. It's simply nothing more but just gambling, in my opinion. Can you please give your analysis on Filecoin? Okay, let's do an analysis on Phil. Okay, so this one is definitely trading under this resistance area. Okay, on the higher time frame, on the daily time frame chart, exactly this is the main issue with almost all the altcoins, right? You can clearly see that this is a strong weekly resistance area. Price is continuously trading under this resistance area, and the weekly time frame chart, it looks definitely bearish, right? The change of character happened around here, and now price is making these lower lows and lower highs. Okay, even if you would look at the top structure right here, impulsive wave, corrective wave, then impulsive wave, corrective wave, then impulsive wave. Okay, so something like this is happening. uh, I don't know if you are holding it for long term. If you would like to make analysis, if you would like me to make analysis on this, do analysis on this in the smaller time frame chart, please let me know, because on the higher time frame chart, at least this is what my viewpoint is. Even if you would look on the daily time frame chart, you can clearly see that we have lower lows and lower highs being formed in the chart. Although this is not a very good example of break of structure because we only wicked below, but in any case, you could have drawn fib levels from this high to this low, and you can clearly see that price is rejecting off 65% level, which means that it's now gonna go down below this low area. So this low area, it's now gonna go down, give a huge impulsive wave, then another retracement wave up to this region, and then it would continue like this. Okay, this is the same structure that you would find out in almost every other altcoin. That's why I'm asking you to be a little bit more cautious. Do you expect a big correction from 88K? Yes, definitely. Tushar, I am definitely expecting. I'm not even sure if it's going to be a big correction, or if you should really be calling it a correction or not. Because if the price rejection around 80 to $90,000 region starts happening, in my opinion, there is every possibility that 80 to 90,000 could be the cycle high. Okay, could be the cycle top. Stance Works is saying best teacher. Thank you so much, Stance Works. If you guys have any questions, please make sure to ask. And by the way, we recently opened spot for a mentorship program also, which starts only at $250 for lifetime. It was really good opportunity. So, once again, if you would like to know more details on that mentorship program, it has a couple of different perks like live classes and everything, 4K recordings with subtitles and live support, different resources, indicators, and everything. And all of this is available for lifetime at just one time fee, starting only at $250. So I would really, recommend you guys to join the mentorship program, take live one-on-one classes, know about all of these things. We have really been working on some educational content for you guys. Derek is asking, Sherlock, what is your DCA strategy? I'm always using the equal margin at every, or equal position size at every single entry. So if, let's suppose I have 3 entries, I would simply just be using 33.33% at each one of these entries. I know that a lot many people have different DCA strategies. DCA is something really important. It really depends on the type of the trade also. So let's suppose that you are into this, you don't want to miss out a BTC long position, right? So what you would do is that, that $62,000 region, it's a strong support. That USDT dominance, it's getting rejected off the trend line. Okay. That this could be a nice retracement level. Price could be bouncing from this area, and you do not want to miss out on the move up to 68k. But at the same time, you're not even sure because there is this trend line information. That if price breaks below this trend line, it's going to be a very impulsive break, and this could be a breakdown to $60,000 region. Now in this situation, what you would do is that, since your first entry, it's a little bit too risky, so you would maybe enter into this position with 20%, 30%, and then you would keep the rest of the 70% safe, right? You would keep the rest of 70% aside, and then you would look at the quarterly VWAP, yearly VWAP. That's where you would enter the rest of maybe 30%, and then you would keep the rest of 50% or 40% for the last entries present somewhere around here. Okay, so the DCA strategy, it really depends upon your the type of the trade also. Let's suppose if there was no trend line like this information, but you were still expecting that, okay, I should not really be going all in at this one entry point. There is every possibility that price could be going down to this area, but that, okay, this is not really a risky trade. Okay, I could simply just enter at this point, and I'm simply just keeping my capital safe, because if you would play by the book, even if you are 99.9% sure that the price bounce is gonna happen from this region, you should never really be going all in at one spot. Okay, so in that situation, you would say, let's enter 60%. Let's enter with 60% size at this area, and let's keep maybe 20% for this spot and 20% for this spot. 60% at the first entry, because I know that this is really good entry, and at the same time I do not really want to overexpose myself, so I would simply just keep 40%, 20% aside, and then I would enter into this position. So once again, my personal strategy is not too overcomplicated. I would simply just keep equal margin, equal position size at every single entries. But if you would look at it some other way, it's perfectly fine. Usually it's always dependent upon the type of the trade also. Okay, can you give an analysis? With ETH, it's quite simple. If you would look at my most recent tweet, let me show you guys. I recently tweeted just like an hour ago that the amount of people crying in my feed after longing ETH at biggest weekly resistance is insane. What else were you guys expecting? So, if I open up my Twitter feed, I would see tens of tweets of people complaining, of big accounts complaining that ETH is a shit coin, ETH is a dead coin, ETH is not moving. Now, what exactly were you expecting? If you would look at the higher time frame chart, and by the way, I did mention this thing during my previous live streams also, when ETH was trading around $2,500, $2,300, that whenever it gets back to this point, unfortunately my short trade did not get triggered. Okay, it was at 28.32 and price only went up to 28.20, missed only by 0.1%, 0.2%. But the point is that this was such a big weekly level, right? This was such a big support area. Price broke below this support region, impulsive break below, and turned it into a resistance area. Now my question is that, if you were longing ETH at $2,800 region and you were expecting the price would straight away go up to 32, 3,500, what exactly were you expecting? Because this is obviously stupid. You were longing at the strongest possible resistance area. and you were expecting the price to straight away go up. I'm not saying that, it could have not happened. Anything is possible in crypto, but at least by looking at the chart, you would notice that this is such a strong resistance area, right? So, and this was, by the way, the first retest, and we know this thing that the first retest, it's always a single best opportunity to take a long or a short trade. So in this situation, it was such a good opportunity to take a short trade, and there was no reason for me to believe that ETH would simply just break above. It's very obvious that, ETH, it's lagging a little bit because it's trading under this resistance area, and the moment it breaks above, you can expect price to go up to 3,500 and then 4,000 eventually. You can simply just ignore the rest of these levels. But the point is that as long as it is trading under this weekly resistance area, nothing much is going to happen with ETH, right? Market is too confusing right now. No clear direction. Everything seems like a gamble at the moment. That's not really true. That's Ojaz. I wouldn't really agree with you over this, because market has never been so clear in my personal opinion. All you have to do is, I don't even know how many times I have literally said this thing during my live streams, that only if you are able to draw, only if you are able to differentiate between impulsive and corrective waves in a right way, only if you are able to draw the market structure correctly, you would literally be able to trade each one of these single moves. Okay, because just look at the structure. The structure shift happened, when price broke above $59,000 region. All you had to do was just take out your Fib tool, take a long position at 57,000 or like $56,000 region, 65% Fib level. That's where I'm always entering, right? In this situation also, all you have to do is price broke above $62,000 region, the break of structure happened. All you have to do is just take out your Fib tool from this area, and take a long position. Stop loss always is gonna be below this low, and then take profit at around 68,000 or 67,500. If you would look at the previous examples, the change of character happened, on 1st of August when price broke below $63,000 region. All you had to do was simply just take out your Fib tool, locate this swing point, draw Fibonacci retracement from swing high to swing low. Price retraced up to 65% level, went all the way down to $49,000 region. Okay, and then the similar thing happened, the break of structures happened. If you would look at all the previous examples, a change of character happened, then 2-3 break of structures happened, then once again change of character happens, 2-3 break of structures happen. So it's fairly simple in my personal opinion. It's not confusing. It's confusing because you are paying attention to many things. If you would open up the Twitter feed, half of them are bullish, half of them are bearish, half of them were saying with 500k, 600k, million followers that 62k is not gonna happen. Price is never gonna go back to 62k. It's from 65k, it's straight 70k, straight 68k. So, if you would look at too many opinions, whenever people ask me that where did you exactly learn all of these things from, how exactly did you start your journey, I'm always telling them that I did not have a mentor, right? You should be thankful. You should really be thankful if you have a mentor, but I did not have anyone to teach me all of these things. I did not have anyone to teach me all these strategies. If somebody is willing to teach you their own strategy, you should be thankful, right? Supposing that they are profitable. But the point is that I always tell people that Twitter, it was my biggest source of knowledge. Okay, it is still the biggest source of knowledge, because I was looking at 20 different people post 20 different types of analysis, 10 of them saying that market is bullish, 10 of them saying that market is bearish. No doubt it confuses you a lot, but at the same time, I was getting into the minds of 20 different people. I was looking at things from 20 different angles. I was looking at 20 different confluences. I was looking at 20 different types of information. So, that's how I got to learn about all of these things. If you are looking at crypto Twitter, if you're just starting with your trading journey, just try to listen to every single line. If YouTube is a good source of information, but if you would open up YouTube, everybody is giving you strategies based on indicators. 5-minute scalping strategy, this strategy has 88% win rate, 95% win rate. Very few people are talking about things in absolute terms. Very few people are talking about things in pure technical terms. And if you are able to listen to them, please pay the most amount of attention towards all these things, because the confluences that I'm personally using, I'm giving you out all of those confluences. People asked me about the script. I did not even give access to the script through usernames. I simply just provided script to all these people, right? So be it about indicators, be it about these confluences, you should pay attention to all these things carefully and get into the mind of all these traders, okay, and get an idea about what exactly are they thinking, where exactly are they wrong, how exactly are they admitting about their mistakes, what exactly they could have done better, if they are doing things opposite to the other traders, which things are working. So it's not an easy thing, navigating these markets, predicting these markets, forecasting these markets. It's not an easy thing. If you are thinking that you would be able to make money in this market easily, then remember this, that the markets are designed in a way that they're able to take their cap they're designed in a way that you should be losing your capital. 95% should be losing their capital to the rest of the 5%, and that's why the rest of the 5% they're profitable and they're making these huge sums of money. That's what you need to understand. Imran is saying, I promise, guys, he's the best mentor. I'm also one of his students. He is the best. Thank you so much, Imran. If someone wants to enhance his trading skill, I will recommend. Thank you so much, Imran. Thank you so much. What is PWH and PWL on most of your charts? It's previous week high and previous week low. Okay. It could be, PML or PMH also, which means previous month high or previous month low. PWH or WL means previous week high or previous week low. Sherlock, I think a lot of people who watch your streams just want to hear if market is going up or low. That's exactly the problem. The moment I'm done with the analysis part, people would simply just leave the live stream. And by the way, for those of you who are still watching me, please make sure to like the live stream and make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I would really appreciate it. This is exactly the problem. I don't know, I wouldn't really name people, I wouldn't really start calling all these names, but there are a lot many YouTubers who are doing the very same thing. They would simply just be telling that, okay, the market is gonna go up, the market is gonna go down, and half of the times they would be wrong. But I'm giving you a pure analysis, right? I'm telling you that how to properly understand the market, how to properly use these confluences. So once again, I'm saying that please do not be worried if it's gonna go up or gonna go low. Okay, make analysis on your own. I'm giving you the simplest possible way of doing so. Just learn the market structure, just differentiate between impulsive and corrective waves, draw Fibonacci retracement from start of impulsive wave to the end of impulsive wave. You would notice that it has such a higher win rate. Okay, most people are just confused about if it's gonna go up or gonna go low. They're not really paying attention to any other thing. It's not that simple. If I knew with 100% surety if it's gonna go up or gonna go low, then I would have been a billionaire, right? But the point is that that's not true. Nobody knows for sure if it's gonna go up or gonna go low. These big institutions, these big market makers, they are also at times losing huge sums of money. Somebody liquidated $18 million worth of long position on Ethereum during the last liquidation cascade, right? Which means that they had $18 million to invest in one position. They were definitely not stupid, right? But they made a bad decision. So it's very common, these hedge funds also make bad decisions. Look at the example for FTX, what they did with the fund of you people. Look at the examples of other big exchanges, other big coins, other big projects. So it's definitely a very common thing. Thanks for your outlook on the chart, Sherlock. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can you share Twitter tags for people you used to follow for the analysis? All you have to do is just create a fresh Twitter account instead of just following politicians and politics, instead of just following the rest of the things. Simply just like a few tweets related to Twitter, like a few tweets related to trading, and automatically your feed would start getting adjusted according to the according to the traders, right? According to all these people. Join Sherlock's mentorship. That's when you will appreciate his mastery. Thank you so much, Derek. Thank you so much. In case for those of you who are interested in joining the mentorship program, once again you can click the link in the description. Okay, you would join the Discord server. You would open up a support ticket, and the support staff, they would be assisting you. Also, alternatively, you can text me over Twitter, and I would make sure to respond to you. Any questions if you may have, you can always comment down below the YouTube videos. You can always DM me over Twitter. You can comment down below any Twitter post, or you could join the Discord server, DM me directly, or you could simply just ask in the chat. My team always makes sure to make sure to inform me if anybody asks question directly from me. So yeah, that's not really going to get unnoticed, right? So once again, thank you so much, guys, for joining in. We would continue to have these educational live streams. Once again, if you just watched the live stream, if you liked it, please make sure to, just press the like button, and please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Until then, take care and have a great week ahead. See you guys back on Thursday. Bye bye.